Hey everybody, it is Qckcknd, and welcome back to another episode of The X-Files. Now, I know it's been a little while since there's been another episode of The X-Files, but like I've told you guys before in other videos, unless this is your first time watching, kind of growing up I had a little bit of like ugly duckling syndrome, as I like to call it. So I don't have a ton of experience with the boys. I do have a couple of dating fails that I would love to share with you guys. And I know more than ever that you guys on YouTube are your own private detectives. So a quick little warning that I share these experiences with you just for laughs and good times, and not to encourage you to seek out these men. Please don't seek out these men. Please keep them out of my life. So here we go. This story takes place a couple years ago. I never dated this man, and that's because these events happened before and saved my life. Back a couple years ago, I used to hang out around the comic book shop in the town I went to high school in, and it was the summer right before I moved to the city, so there wasn't a ton of stuff for me to do all day, and I used to take the train 2 stops to hang out at this comic book shop. And I would hang out there like for a long time. I would buy stuff, sit in the parking lot. I used to buy a ton of vinyl toys, so I would buy these blind boxes, open them in the parking lot, and then kind of hang out, get a coffee, get a sandwich, go to Wawa, and just like waste my time downtown. I used to notice this guy who was in the same parking lot as the comic book shop. And I used to think it was really cool that like he had an apartment downtown, he had his own apartment, his own car, and he was like kind of cute for being different. So I would see him and he would see me, and eventually we started to talk. And I think we knew a lot of the same people, but he was a little older. And you know, he was probably like 31 and I was 21, but to me that just seemed a lot older, but to other people that seems like pretty standard. Oh, that old guy. So we would start to talk a little bit more and more, a little bit of flirting going on, giggling, super cute, but I would always like go home at the end of the day, whatever. One day, you know, I'm in town kind of late and he offers to drive me home, and I'm like pretty embarrassed because if you guys know my life story, I had just moved back in with my parents, and I just felt like such a loser because I couldn't be like, yeah, do you want to come in to my parents' house? I live in the attic. So when he dropped me off, I had him drop me off at like the supermarket kind of close to my house because I was like, oh my god, the shame. And it's like, if he would have been anyone else, I would have been like, yeah, take me up the gravel driveway, I don't care. I kind of knew that I was into this guy. So he would like call me cute, and I guess we were flirting, but I kind of have this thing where like when older people call me cute, I think it's like kind of patronizing, like, you're cute. The day came when I was sitting outside of the comic book shop per usual, summer, hot, just sitting there, and my friend was with me, and the guy came up to us, and he was like, hey, I've been meaning to like ask you this favor. And you know, my friend is kind of filled in on the situation. He's cute, he's driving me home, he's maybe calling me cute. So I'm like what? Oh, you know, like I make electronic music and I really need a voiceover, and like I don't really know a ton of ladies, and I was wondering if you could do the voiceover for me. And my friend's like, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, is she gonna get paid? I'm like, oh my god. And he's like, I can send you the link when it's all done. And to me, I was like, that sounds really cool. I'm gonna be on the internet. Like, I was so excited. So I was like, okay. Oh, I'll come back and grab you guys in like an hour. So we wait, we hang out, we kind of freak out, and he comes back and grabs us. So he takes us over to his house, and I am a huge fan of living minimalistically. Believe me, I feel like I would take an apartment with a good location versus an apartment with a lot of space. And if you lived downtown, like, that seems like it would be amazing enough for me. So we approach his house, and it kind of looks like a weird side door on the side of another house. Almost like, I don't know, like a weird back stairwell. And I'm like, that's your house? Because I saw you sitting outside of that whole house, not this side door house. But like I said, my last house, I spent the entire time in my room. So if your house is only a room, you and me, I get it. So we go into his house, and it's set up like this. If we walked in the door here, the house was split like this. This was his bedroom, and this was like his computer area where he had a bunch of like electronics, the microphone set up, and like computers, and then like a ton of stuff on the walls, like posters, baseball cards, things like that. And then this was like a couple steps up, maybe like 3, and I assume this was his kitchen, maybe. We walked directly into his bedroom when we came in. But everything that I could view between this little entrance was junk. Just like junk piled everywhere. Maybe there was a fridge in here, maybe a sink, but all I saw in my brief time looking was junk. So we walk in and I'm like, dude, that's a lot of shit all around. And it was like really dingy and brown, and the only window was right by the door, right here, but the curtains were drawn, so no light was coming in. So 3 of us walk into his house, and it's already like maximum capacity with the 3 of us in there. So we walk in, and I'm not sitting on this bed. We walk over to this like little recording area, and it is cool. It's a lot of cool electronics, a lot of computers. One of those guys who has like 2 computers set up at a time, you know what I mean? So my guy has 2 computers and a little recording area right here. So the 3 of us walk in, and he gives me a script for what he needs me to say for his recording. And all of a sudden I'm like immediately shy. I'm looking all around, everything is really weird, everything is like a relic of this dude, maybe when he was like 19, 20 years old. Like, how long has he been living in this weird like 2-bedroom side compartment of this house? Was this storage and you put a sink in here? Or is there even a sink over here? Cause I don't know. And I thought it was a little weird that the door walked right into his bedroom. Like, you're tracking in a lot of street, my guy. Maybe if you design this house, put your bedroom over here and get rid of some of this junk. If you live in a small house, no junk. No junk at all. So I walk in and I'm like, all right, this guy's a weird hoarder. It's really dark in here, but I'm still interested in whatever he needs me to voice over for this like electronic music. So he gives me the script, and I look at it and I'm instantly embarrassed. And I look at my friend and she's like, if you're not gonna do it, I will. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He asked me to do it. Okay. Something about these vocals he's into. And even though it's real creepy in here and I'm having a lot of changed mind feelings, I'll go ahead and do it. The lyrics are pretty weird, and he shows us a sample of some of his other music, and it's not like Crystal Castles, it's like kind of creepy weird. And I'm like, okay, sure. And I mean, I'm someone who sings in the car, sings in the shower, sings to my cat, But all of a sudden I was like, if you have some water. I start to read off the lyrics into the microphone. And I'm looking all around, feeling really weird about this space. And the lyrics are even weirder. So I get the microphone ready. And I'm like, blackness, rosebuds, thorns, piercing white, blood. I stutter. Darkness. And my friend is cracking up. She's like, who wrote that shit? I'm like, yo, stop it. So he has me do it like 2 or 3 more times. And each time I get worse. In my mind, I'm like, yo, that first take's all you're getting, guy. So when I'm done, I guess, you know, he has to store that file onto his computer. And I back up, and I'm kind of near his bed. And I notice he has a booger wall. If you don't know what a booger wall is, if you've never had a younger sibling or went through a really disgusting phase, a booger wall is when you're laying in your bed and you're picking your nose and you wipe it on the wall. And you don't clean it up afterwards. Like, I don't know, wipe it on your shirt. At least that goes in the laundry. But my guy had a booger wall. Boogers. Boogers everywhere. Boogers. So many boogers. Give me my voice back. So my friend and I go, is that all you needed? We have to go. Girl stuff. Cotton candy. Woo. So we leave and I'm like, yo, did you see that booger wall? And she was like, what did he make you say? That was really weird too. And I was like, you know, I'm in art and people who have hobbies, but I feel really weird. She was like, so is he gonna pay you, right? He's gonna pay you, right? So I try to wash myself of that memory entirely. It was really nice when he would drive me home, and he was really nice to talk to about stuff. But after all that, I was like, that wasn't a cool man. That was a gross man. That was a man hitting on me, and he's got a booger wall in his house. A couple weeks later, you know, I kind of wash myself of everything. I'm sitting in the comic book parking lot all over again, and he comes outside to thank me. And I'm like, hey, like, how did that music ever turn out? Was it good? And he was like, yeah, you know, I'm still working on it, still fine-tuning it, blah, 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 industry jargon. And I was like, yeah, cool, same. And he was like, so I wanted to thank you. And he gives me this. It's like a little chip, I guess, for a computer, because my guy was into computers. But I think it looks like a person, see? So he gave me this chip, and he was like, yeah, thank you so much. And I was like, wow, I really like this. Can you make it into a keychain? Because I was kind of like, what the fuck am I doing with this? So he goes in his house and I guess drills a little hole in it. And I had a ton of these little ropes from just like little keychains I already have. So he comes back and he gives it to me, and I swoop that little string through it and I attach it to my iPod. This iPod still works, by the way. So I'm like, hey, thank you so much. I love keychains. And he was like, oh no, that goes in your computer. And I think it has the song on it. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And I had to go home. And I don't want to ride. But thank you! To this day, I still keep this on my iPod, but I really don't know what's on it. And if it's like actually real and goes in the computer, I mean, I've had it on my iPod for like 5 years now, so I assume that it's broken. But if you know anything about these chips, let me know. A couple years later, I haven't heard anything else about this guy. I don't know if he's still a townie, if his music career took off and I'm just an asshole. But to this day, my friend will still remind me like, hey, remember when you were the voice on that music? And I'm like, no, I casually forgot. This is the X-Files. Thank you guys so much for watching and requesting this series so much. I'm happy to bring it to you. I will link the playlist down below so you can catch up on episodes if this is your very first one. Welcome to my dating fails. Welcome to my life. I love you guys so much, and until next time, bye. Hey everybody, it's Qckcknd, and welcome back to our second episode of The X-Files. Now, if this is